How are you going, folks? I'm out here with my peach tree here, pulling all these leaf curl leaves off it. It's destroyed it. Now, I've been spraying it every month and I've been telling everybody else to do the same. It's meant to work on it. Well, the truth be said, this tree never been sprayed before and it was always riddled. It never had any fruit on it at all. So this is just an update on it. This is what I've been picking off. Have a look. These are literally a heap of leaves here, folks, and there's still a lot more coming on. It is spreading and I can't spray it because have a look at this bloody weather. It doesn't want to give up. It's just been raining every day, literally on and off, on and off. So spraying your trees, no matter what you're applying on them, you need at least 6 hours minimum for the product to work. So if you're using an eco oil or an eco neem or something natural or even just a fungicide, nevertheless, if you spray it and it rains on it, you're going to have to spray it again once it dries up. Now this tree, let it be said, that this tree never had any fruit on it. I haven't seen any fruit on it when we first got here, and I really didn't pay any attention to it for the first couple of years, other than just pruning it. So I've been feeding it for the last couple of years, and this year I've given it a proper spray every month. And look, it is clean from what it has been. This is the leaf curl. For those who don't know what it is, it's basically a spore, a fungal spore that spreads. It gets inside the tree and it causes it to blister up like that. And it can affect the fruit as well if it gets really severe on it. Now this tree has got, and I was about to say earlier, a heap of fruit. It's never had fruit before, but it is loaded with fruit. There are no aphids on it, thank God for that. So we haven't got a tree band on it. We don't need to put a tree band on it, but it has got a lot of fruit. So I'm excited about that. Let's hope it keeps the fruit on it. And if you've got leaf curl on your tree, and I know not a lot of you, a few of you have actually emailed me saying that you've tried what I've done and it's been successful on your trees. Lucky you, and that's what I want to hear, some successful results with the application, because it's sad to see that you actually tried to do something right and persist with it, and then it gets hit again. So I reckon this tree is just going to be, it's not the perfect science. It's something that is, this tree's been riddled with it for years. And it's only now that I've started spraying it that it's starting to come good. And I reckon next year, I'm hoping that it's going to get better each time. And let's see if it keeps all its fruit. If it keeps all its fruit, we're going to enjoy a lot of ice cream and fresh, I'm dribbling already, peaches. I get excited when I think about food. The pear's doing well. It's got a lot of flowers on it, just touching base on it. So we're hoping that's going to set some fruit for us as well. And the apricot. Now, last time we spoke about this, it was only a couple of days ago, I reckon. The fruit wasn't that large, overly sized, so that you can see it. But now that as I'm looking at it, there's not a lot on each branch. There's 1, 2, 3 or 4 on each branch. But overall, I reckon I have got at least about 40 or 50 fruit on this tree as well. And again, this is another tree. So, we've been here 4 years, just over 4 years. And I've had to work through the whole property, cleaning it up. Some parts were perfect, other parts needed a lot of attention. These trees needed that attention. The previous owners love their fruit trees and they did the best they can with them, but unfortunately these trees got out of control and lost their way. So now they're starting to come good again, and it's going to take a couple of years for them to come to produce a good result of fruit for me to enjoy. On the other side is a plum tree, a double graft plum tree. You can see the double graft down at the bottom there, and I honestly didn't realise it was a double graft until I started pruning the tree and cleaning it up. And now on the left hand side, as we're looking at it, it produces an abundance of fruit on it, and it has now as well. It won't keep all these little flowers that are set. Look, there's literally hundreds on each branch there, and there's way too many for it to keep. So even if it keeps, half a dozen on each branch, that's more than enough. But typical of a plum tree, you'll always get more than you can handle. But whereas on this side here, I've had no fruit whatsoever in the past. Now I have pruned it and I left enough branches on it so we can flower. Fruiting branches, young ones. You can see there, we've left these ones here. We've got some flowers there trying to set. A couple on the tips again as well. Still up high there. There's more up here. Not a lot. It still needs a lot of work to bring it back to shape, and it's not going to happen in 1 year, folks. Yeah, there's more over here. So we actually may get some fruit on it on this side this time round. So that's a good sign. And that's with double grafts. So if you need a couple of varieties, I think we spoke about this. If you're living in the metro areas, you'll always get yourself the opportunity to have a tree nearby or a neighbouring tree that will help pollinate your tree. And it's done by all our wonderful pollinators. Now looking at the apple tree here, this is just about to burst out. This is nuts. I know, I haven't thinned it out. I don't want to thin it out. I just like it. I love the fact that it comes into full bloom and you can't see a single branch on it almost, or any leaves on it. So when all these flowers come out there, sure enough, we'll have at least 300 or 400 apples on it. They're not a big size because it produces so many on them, but still they're very juicy, very tasty, just as the Granny Smith is on this side here. We did take out the guts of this. Have a look at it. There's a huge opening in the middle, and we've got this beautiful weep happening on the tree now, which is perfect because that's the way you want your branches to be able to produce more flowers and fruit and set there. And it does. The fruit actually has weighed these branches down over years, and that's why we've got this nice weeping effect happening on this branch, or on this tree, I should say. Let's go and have a look at the veggies, because we've had some problems there recently. We've had overnight, literally, a caterpillar, well, I reckon snails, but has come in and started eating my pak choy or bok choy, and some of the lettuce actually got eaten as well. So out came the snail bait. Now you can use different products, folks. You can actually use coffee grinds, which also act like a fertilizer. I've known people to use eggshells as well, but you've got to crush them down to a fine grade so you can make them like a grit so they don't travel over. And they don't travel too well over mulch and things like that. But when you've got young seedlings like this and no mulch on it because of the weather, and I said that in the past, too much mulch this time of the year can cause a bit more problems than it's worth. You'll find the snails will get to them quite easily. It could be all sorts of creatures, but at the end of the day, I'm just taking caution, or practicing caution here, and I've put a snail bait down. Not something that I use often, folks. That's the truth. You haven't seen me talk about this too often. This is Eradicate Eco. This is a very, very friendly, well, it is a friendly, pet-friendly bait. So it's a food grade or food base iron, that's what it says there, iron-based snail bait, I won't say fertilizer. And the actual product itself, from when I was speaking to the manufacturers about this, said that there's less iron in each little granule or pellet than there is in the earth. So if you were to do an analysis between the two, you'd find there's more iron in the earth, but when they eat the bait itself, it doesn't kill them there and then. It actually causes them to go back and hide and actually dehydrate or die away from the bait itself. You don't need to put a lot down. I think it's almost like a tablespoon or 2 tablespoons per square metre. I just got a bit carried away here. I sprinkled a fair bit down there, and this only happened yesterday. So when I came out to have a look at them, I saw them eaten literally overnight. So if you've got problems in the garden, or if you've got problems in pots, you can use a snail bait like this. You can use eggshells, you can use grit, you can use sawdust if you like, and there's also the copper tape, which is an adhesive tape producing an electric current, causing the snails not to be able to travel over. So that acts as a barrier, and that stops the snails from getting into your garden or into your pot plants. So check them out on our website. All good garden centres have got them as well. And you know, this weather, this is the angry side of me. Why? Is it raining again? This is what's been happening, folks. VasilisGarden.com from me, Vasili. Maresi. Stay dry.